No, that's interesting. That's interesting. So Cameroon is going for just dance, basketball, and football.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I know you participated in previous events. Is this the third Phygital Games of the Future? Or the second?
This will be the third. The one happening in Kazan, in Astana in Kazakhstan will be the third.
The third, yes. How was your previous experience like? Which countries were they in?
The very first one, like the genesis of digital games in Kazan in Russia, was mind blowing.
Oh
It's
wow.
an it's an experience that will live in my head for long. I mean, I physically saw Putin with my two eyes. He was
Oh
sitting
wow.
across the hall. That was the beauty. And the level of technology, the level of service delivery, the games, the pitches, everything was just top notch.
Yeah.
It was like they say in French, c'était le jamais vu. Au niveau de l'organisation, au niveau des déploiements des équipements, tout était nickel.
Perfect.
Top notch.
Top notch.
Top
Perfect.
notch. Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting.
So in terms of teams, the representation was very, very, I would say, inclusive, because there were teams from Europe, America, both South and North America, Asian teams, African teams, because
That's interesting.
we were there. I think Nigeria was back then. Well, Ghana wasn't, but there were some Senegalese, but they didn't play under the Senegalese flag. They were playing in another. This is the beauty about Phygital. It doesn't matter where you go get your team members from, and the beauty is that it's not like Phygital is not meant to represent countries. It is meant to represent clubs and teams, so that way it is open. It is open. It's not restricted. I mean,
geographical location or identity.
Exactly, but they do encourage teams to work with their local federations, with their local governments to support the project so that they can help develop the projects locally in the various countries. But it's very open. It's an all-inclusive kind of sports. For example, like my tournament that we just did, we had a team, an all-female football team, and actually, Phygital, they did a story on that. It was because
that's what you said to me. Yes, that's what I got.
This is so. I mean, those are the kind of things that we try to promote from our end.
But that's interesting. All female football team, and how did they do? So they've qualified for the.
So well, they tried.
They tried.
The thing about this is, I think they had a little bit of fright in them to like push themselves, because they saw themselves like we are sheep in a wolf's den, or in a wolf pack.
All the boys,
So yeah, they were a little bit shy, but I think that with the experience that they have now, they can go and prepare themselves better for next year. I think I'll see a better and a stronger team, and this is been inspirational, because there was supposed to be a mixed team for basketball that had 2 female and 2 male, but the girls pulled out from that team. I'm sure it was for the sake of the same kind of fight. The football girls, they decided to stay, and I hope that this will encourage other female teams to join forces next year. I really hope that will happen.
It'll be good to speak to them as well. The experience and how far it's brought them and that kind of thing. It'll be good to speak to them as well at some point. That's
sure, we can make that happen. Sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. But it's good to see that we have a lot of females wanting and actually participating in these events. And for them to be all females, that means that whole thing about leadership, structure, development, taking on challenges like that is great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're talking about this year's Phygital, and we're talking about Africa. How's the African group faring? my understanding is Africa's got about 28 member countries and about 6 active members. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less so. More or less
Yeah.
so. Okay, to talk about Africa, I think last year, at the sometime mid last year, I was assigned, no, early last year, I was assigned the first gold member for WPC in Africa.
Yeah, great.
And they also awarded me the status of Phygital Ambassador for Africa. And during the course of the year, I was also handpicked to join the executive board of advisors for Phygital, WPC and Phygital International,
well done.
which I am privileged to be a member.
Well
done. Thank you. So in terms of the African population, Africa is well represented in the games of the future, but unfortunately, we don't have too many African countries that are actually in the movement, like actually practicing the games of the future, because the thing about Phygital is that it is sometimes a little bit difficult to do. Sorry, my son is trying to get into the picture.
We all have that around, so that's fine.
Go and drink water. Someone tell me to give you water. So there is a high level of technology involved in organizing Phygital games, not just at the physical level, but even the project, the reporting of the project is so compartmentalized, and it is like it is found on a critical path analysis. So if you don't complete one assignment, you cannot move on to the next assignment. And you know that coming from an esports world, you know that gamers, we are very, very impatient people. We just want to play. We just want a plug and play system.
That's it. That's it.
You know, like on commence à jouer quand on signe le document. Ok, on a signé. Bon, on commence à jouer. Il faut qu'on commence à jouer.
Just get on the game.
On a besoin de perdre le temps. So, but there are too many layers of documentation, of filling in, of forms, of processes, and these processes are found on a platform. If you do not input them correctly, you are stuck.
Yeah, you don't progress.
And you cannot progress. So too many African countries who, to them, are either classical esports or classical sports people. They are like, we've not seen this layer of paperwork before. We don't understand it. I've been to a couple of places to help structure their system, a couple of countries to help structure their systems. I've organized seminars on how to structure systems for WPC's behalf. I have organized, I've sat in negotiations because some people wanted to pull out or they didn't register their stuff properly, to help to try to, I have sat in meetings like translator or interpreter for some countries because of this structural issues that we have going on. So for this reason, it is hard for some of the African countries. And again, the fact that organizing Phygital tournament is expensive. It's expensive because it's a double event in one. The gaming, the actual athletes. So putting a tournament in that nature together, you first of all have to communicate to let people understand the principle. When you do that, you have to talk to clubs, you have to talk to teams, you have to talk to individuals who might help on the project. So all the resources put it together, you have to rent the pitches, you have to buy the consoles or rent them. And some people, if they are not ready to do this investment, they would want to observe and say, okay, how are they doing it? What's going on? What is it going to take? And so it was a little bit difficult for year one for most African countries, but most of them bought into the idea because they think it's very, very innovative. Think it's innovative. And some of them just wanted to observe to see, okay, how would this look like in the next 2 3 years? Let's be sure about what we are getting in. Yeah. So that has been the challenge. And so in one of my roles as the ambassador, it has been to encourage and to preach to the African community on how we can best structure which disciplines they can start with if they don't want to go all out, which is more cost effective and easy to do. I've helped a couple of nations. They are organizing tournaments today, and they keep referring back to me, like, which is good. It is edifying. So sometimes I'm happy to say I have succeeded in helping people, which is the role that they gave me, to help my fellow people understand. Yeah, it was coming from the fact that I've been there from my experience. I've been to four different Games of the Future events. So with my experience, sometimes it was easier for me to talk to people. And since I'm talking from a perspective of like an authority, some people believe in what I say, and they have been able to move on with the project.